So when it comes to sci-fi, really I think back to my childhood of Star Wars and just that infamous storyline that really drug you in. You had no choice but to want to watch more. Growing up in a small town, you had to have an imagination, and when it came to sci-fi movies, it just helped you out all that much more. You had really nothing besides your hands and the little bit of toys that you had, maybe a bike and maybe a skateboard with bad roads to ride on, and I rode anyway. And so you had to have an imagination to everything. I made entire roads in just pea gravel for my Matchbox cars. I mean, I built 7 forts between the ages of like 10 and maybe 12. I literally wanted to create my own fantasy world, and through watching a movie and the creation process, now I could really see that from a child, like, this is what I really wanted to do. And really drawing back to first memory, it comes down to a couple of things. Not having those resources like I spoke about, and also looking to find something to be creative. I did a lot of coloring, a lot of painting. Crayons were my life, and growing those things, it was just a form of art. So moving myself into a creative world was really just a matter of aligning my tools and moving those in a direction to where I could actually develop skills in the real world sense in filmmaking and push myself into the next level of knowledge. And that's where my education started. And I could really ultimately thank Star Wars for that. And for being a filmmaker, it really inspired me to step outside of a box. I could live outside of the natural world. I could inject science fiction into my everyday life in the film world. Even when it comes to video games, Fallout is a massive, massive third-party, huge world, and it's all injected into one game. Now, when you were to look at that from a Star Wars standpoint, if you were to look at it from a game standpoint, it would be one of the biggest worlds of all. It's the whole universe. It was the Star Wars. It was legitimately the whole universe under siege for control and power. And looking back at that, it's just something about the creativity and the inspiration behind that really drew me to filmmaking alone. I mean, what more really could you want from a show? You had ultimate creativity, you had the sense of urgency, you had drama, and you had a whole world made around characters that people fell in love with, and I was one of those people. So inevitably throughout the years, it really came down to the specifics of why do I love sci-fi? Sci-fi put me in a realm to where my creativity made sense.